MLBB Around the World is powered by Asus ROG. The ROG phone is the official gaming phone of MSC 2024. We're on the road to the biggest international event in the history of our esport. Just around the corner is the Mid-Season Cup 2024. And I bet a lot of you guys are wondering, with all of these teams, all of these countries joining this big event for MLBB, what does MLBB look like around the world? That's what this video series is for. And I invited here a voice that maybe you guys haven't heard of just yet, if you're not from that corner of the world. We have here Grand Finals caster for MCB Season 3 Grand Finals, all the way straight from Nepal. We have my good friend Sudan from the home of the Sagarmatha. Did I say that right? The Sagarmatha?
Sagarmatha.
The world
or maybe
knows
Mount Everest.
There you go. The world knows it, Mount Everest. I tried to impress you. How are you doing, man? How are you, Sudan?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And thank you for your effort. You know, most of the peoples know Mount Everest only, but the Sagarmatha is Nepali name. So, okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I tried to put in as much effort into this short interview, again, as we go around the world, as the rest of the community tries to learn about MLBB from the different corners of this amazing esport that we have. So, Nepal, you have what's called the MLBB Champions Battle, and it's the third time that Nepal has had this, and you're joined by Bangladesh in this qualifier. Before we talk about that best of 7 between For Miracle and Train to Kill, I want to learn more about you, right? I want to learn more about Nepali MLBB. What is the scene like? Is MLBB big in Nepal?
Not so big, I would say. It is affected by various things, I would say, because one of the main thing is education system of Nepal. Most of the peoples, most of the students, most of the players of MLBB are students, right? But the Nepali students tends to visit abroad for the further studies. So even if they are good at playing MLBB, they just leave the country, so they just kind of cannot continue their journey on esports in most of the esports games.
And it's not just MLBB, so I understand. Also, just geographically speaking, Nepal is sandwiched by India and China, two very polarly different esports countries, right? MLBB is struggling to make it in India, and then we just broke into China. So again, this is one step that maybe we can try to make MLBB big, right? By putting a spotlight on your representative, by making Train to Kill a more beloved team, because Big Black Clock, for many reasons, has many fans all around the world now after being showcased in the wildcard last year. But now it's a different team. Now it's Trained to Kill. Between these two teams, in the Grand Finals, they went 7 games. Full 7 games. I am so jealous of you, Sudan. I'm so jealous that your region goes 7 games. Can you tell me about your region's playstyle? Can you tell me about Nepali and Bangladesh's MLBB?
We can say that it's random. They just speak of we can see the meta of every region in Nepal and Bangladesh, and most of the players from Nepal and Bangladesh, they go for their comfort pick, I'd say. But it's still, we all know they are the why they are the wildcard reason, because we are still we are still learning. We are still in the learning phase. So yeah, there are various weakness points in the plays of South Asia, I would say, because they have been performing well in South Asia region, but whenever they enter the international phase, they just cannot perform so well. So yep, we are still in the infant phase, I would say.
And that's okay. Everybody has to go through the infancy phase, right? Everyone has to go through the growing pains. And I'm looking at some clips of the best of 7. You guys have a good understanding of the metagame, right? It's fair to say that there's a good priority on Fredrin. The Barats is big. Lo Yi shows up. You guys love your Moskov. So I'd say 85, 90% there. But I gotta ask, talking about just the focus of your metagame, would you say Nepal, Bangladesh, are you guys more micro or are you guys more macro, right? Do you guys like more of the team fights, the mechanics, the specifics, or do you play the map more?
It's micro, basically. Most of the, teams, they just lose the control of, mid control. They just lose it out most of the time. And yep, recently after the introduction of Apex in Train to Kill, they're having a lot of map pressure, but it's still, it's not that great of macro as compared to other regions. But yep, we have started to see somewhat, the macro plays as well. Basically, before the Train to Kill came up, the 4 Medical Esports were very good at macro, and the players from Train to Kill before the imports, they were really good at micro.
So in this grand finals, as good as the macro of 4 Miracle was, the micro, that's where Train to Kill came out on top. I guess that's what explains the 11-minute win, right, in Game 2. That's what explains the 14-minute wins in Game 3 and Game 5. So, again, this proves, folks, that in developing regions and even at the highest level, sometimes if macro is just undeniable, you can shock even the #1 team in your region into a series win, into a qualifier win, into a wild card win. So with that said, you already mentioned our good friend Apex from Train to Kill. He is the roamer for the Nepali team at the wild card. Let's talk about Train to Kill specifically. You can't talk about Train to Kill without having gone through the community, gone through the chat, gone through the threads, and seeing that, hey, wait a minute, 4 Miracle has 5 Nepali players, Nepalese players, and then Train to Kill has 2 Indian players. Was that a big change? Did that affect the way that they played or their performance going into the MCB?
Recently there was also the match in IESF where Train to Kill was paired off with all of the 5 players from Nepal, because IESF, in the matches of IESF, there cannot be any kind of imports. Yeah. But still, Train to Kill won that match. I'm not sure if it was really because of the Indian imports or not after that match. But in MCB, there had been some, conflicts and controversy. Everyone knows about that. And in that scenario, in that grand finals, the 4 Medical Esports, in their point of view, I'm not sure if the allegations were true or not. Maybe that might be some of the reasons that they might have lost. But yep, for Train to Kill, they were even good with the 5 of the players from Nepal.
Yeah. So even if it just came down to the point of, in this tournament, they decided to play with Apex and Witch, and then they still won. Because I'm looking at it now, man. I'm looking at the brackets, and 4 Miracle got dropped in the lower bracket, right? And then they had to climb up, and eventually Train to Kill was waiting, and they still went for the win. Because I'll be honest with you, if I'm an outsider looking in, and you tell me Nepal, Bangladesh team that represents that region, Leo, who's it gonna be? I'm gonna say 4 Miracle, because we've seen 4 Miracle so many times. Yeah. But now Train to Kill coming up, maybe it just came down to preparation, right? Maybe 4 Miracle was just ready for it. Maybe 4 Miracle, maybe Train to Kill was just ready for it and said, you know what, it's our turn. It's our turn to come up. And besides the 2 Indian imports, besides Witch and Apex, who would you say is someone to look out for? Who from Train to Kill is a must-watch?
It's definitely Yahiko, because their play style is also to core Yahiko. Because I would say, the marksman which have been recently imported, he was a bit weaker than a Gonigan from 4 megalists, I would say. Because I mean, everyone knows the plays. No offense to Wiz, he is really good player, by the way. But yeah, the thing is, the train to kill, they just score out. They just make space for Yahiko to, deploy that assassin plays, even the tank jungle plays. You already told that they played a lot of Fravin and Barats. But by the way, talking about Barats, Yahiko was a bit frustrated about his Barats gameplay because because of the passive of Barats, it gets too big and its hit point gets even more wider. So he was a bit frustrated by his gameplay of Barats himself.
Yeah.
So yes, I guess the player to watch out is Yahiko.
Yeah.
He's the core of the team.
I get it. I understand that even Barats now is as good as he is 50-50 still. I would still prefer Fredrin. I would still prefer Akai. So I'm with you. Yahiko, I get you. I'll be watching your games. If you ever have to pick up the Barats, I will know if you lose. Like, oh, he just doesn't like the Barats. That's what it is. All right. So that's Train to Kill. And in general, I'm sure you're 100%, 150% behind your representative at the wild card. But I want to ask you about narrative. I want to ask you the story of Nepal. Like, you guys are part of the wild card, which I think is a very important thing for a growing region, for a growing country, to have a representative at a big international event like MSC. What does Nepal want to show the world? What does Train to Kill want to show the world and share from your side of the globe? Like, what is Nepal and Bangladesh, and I guess in their case Indian MLBB all about?
I mean, we are still. I already told you that we are still in infant phase. Even if there's a chance of getting into the main stage, there are 8 teams competing for 1 slot. That's so hard. I mean, if we could get a few more slots, then they might have been a bit of more chance. But all knows that there is so less chance for the team from South Asia, because there are a lot of strong teams than Trying to Kill or any teams from South Asia. Even if there was 4 medical or they could have underperformed, I guess. Even it's from the players itself. They just want to climb up to the main stage, and we wish that as well. I mean, we wish that they win the MSC, but that's not possible.
It's okay to foresee it someday in the future, right?
Yeah.
But my sentiments are with you, and I agree, because looking at the 8, right? Looking at the wild card alone, I'd say maybe Train to Kill might be the biggest underdog. You guys might be the smallest region there, because look, maybe just on the same level as Mongolia. I don't know what Mongolian MLBB is like. Oh wait, never mind. No, Mongolia had Lilgan, and Lilgan was a threat. So yeah, no, confirmed. Nepal is the smallest region in the wild card. You guys are the baby. You guys are the underdogs, because there's Vietnamese, and the Vietnamese love their mobile their mobile MOBAs. There's Turkey. Turkey's strong. China's big.
China even got the 1 slot in main stage directly.
That's right. Yeah, and then
in the M6, they just went from the wildcard, but now they have the direct slot.
Exactly, right? And then you have Malaysia, you have Homeboy. So I understand. I am with you, man. So then I am with you. It's very difficult to look at the wild card and say, yeah, no. But okay, let's end our Around the World MLBB with you visiting Nepal with a wish list. All right? Tell me, what do you want to see in the next 6 months or the next year for Nepalese MLBB? Like, what would really help your region grow?
Yes, just like I said earlier, I just want to watch them perform really well, because the moment they performed when Yahiko and Master was with Big Black Clock, I mean, in ping pong, they went for ISF match, and that was the moment when the MLBB sports in Nepal, you know, was, I mean, took birth. That hype moment created by Mirko, thanks to him as well, thanks to the player as well, because it wasn't the only thing that uplifted the team ping pong when they were on the time, but they uplifted the other players as well. They gave chance to other teams as well, and the talents, I mean on-air talents like us as well. So big thanks to them, and I just want to watch them perform so well that it makes the growth even better.
Well, I wish you and South Asian region, Nepal, Bangladesh, and specifically Train to Kill, to have more hype moments like that, right? So that even if y'all don't go too far, at least we will remember, and we will know that Nepal MLBB is a thing, and Nepal MLBB is here to stay. And Sudhan, I'd like to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight to share what MLBB is like in your corner of the world. Is there anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to share with our viewers watching?
Because I like to apologize everyone for my bad English, because I'm really bad in English, but I like to learn English and join you guys in, I mean, someday in the huge stage as the English caster as well.
No, dude, I'll tell you now, your English is fine. Like, I completely understood everything, and we had a great conversation. Sudhan, you're amazing. Thank you. How do you say thank you in Nepali?
Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad. Would Nepalese people look weird at me when I buy something? Dhanyavad.
Yeah.
They would. Oh.
You can say that. But no, we don't usually use I mean, the thanking words.
Oh,
how do you? Some people do it still.
How does that? What does that say?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's because, I mean, we are in 2024.
Yeah, what's the slang?
Thank you most of the time,
Yeah. So what's? Did you say thank you?
It feels so weird to say dhanyavad.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm not sure. Maybe it sounds weird to me. It's. I mean, when I cast in Nepali. There are a lot of words which, I mean, the viewers doesn't recognize.
Oh, really?
Because
even in Nepali?
And yeah, and some of the words, it just sounds so awful when we tell it in Nepali.
I see.